Fight.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, all of the above. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get straight into the video. Today we have a submission about best friends and relationships. So yes, I will say I've been here before. I've been in this exact same situation, and I didn't necessarily handle it the way that I'm going to advise. I'm going to handle it in the way that I should have handled it, in the way that I should have seen it. Me, I just stopped talking to the person because I was like, I don't like this. But I'm going to go ahead and read you all the submission. I wrote it down on a big old piece of paper because it was too much for my little handy dandy notebook, and I didn't want to leave nothing out. So the submission says, I have a best friend who we just seem to be growing apart. I don't blame her though. I blame her boyfriend. Ever since they got together, she has been acting funny towards me. We don't hang out. She barely will even talk on the phone. She tells me bad things that he says about me, and I don't know anymore because I wouldn't let nobody do that, not even my man. I miss my best friend, but I don't know what to do. So what do I do now? Just let my best friend go. First of all, I'm sorry, but this is happening. It sucks. It does happen. It's very, very common, especially if you are very close to the person, or if you guys talked all the time before, and then she gets in a relationship and it seems as though you kind of get booted to the side. And before I even get into it, I don't want anybody to take it as me saying that you're not supposed to be close to your partner, because I do believe that when you get in a relationship, you become less available for the things that you were once doing. Why? Because you're now committed. So the things that you were once doing, and the times and stuff that you were coming back home, and the times that you were going out, and all of that stuff starts to shift out of respect for your relationship. So that's my, like, I don't know. That's kind of me just clearing that up, because I don't want anyone to take what I'm about to say as I'm not expecting anyone to become less available, because I am very aware that when you're in a relationship, you do become less available. So with that being said, don't be in the comments like, oh my gosh, like that sounds crazy. Like, no. So I don't necessarily think that you guys are growing apart. What I think is happening is that they're trying to grow together, or she's trying to grow closer to him. I don't recommend it in the way that she's doing it, and I don't think that it is healthy to do it that way, because if you guys are best friends, then I will automatically assume that you guys talk more than her just friends or her acquaintances, her associates. If you're in a relationship and you are now required to not deal with your friends, not talk to your friends, not hang out, and to set aside your individual ways, then I don't think that's a healthy relationship whatsoever. And I will say that to whoever. I don't think it's healthy, because in a relationship, yes, you are supposed to become less available than what you were when you were single. However, you should never have to lose you or things that were attributes of you in order to maintain a relationship. That makes no sense. And the reality of it is that everybody needs space at some point, and everyone needs to be able to look in a mirror and know that they're looking at themselves. However, if you're in a relationship and you are only, what's a good word? Basically, if you're like up your partner's butt all the time, then you are losing individuality, and you're cutting into that person's individuality. Now, I will say that there are relationships where maybe they're both antisocial or something like that, but to say that you guys have had this bond for however long you guys have been best friends, I wouldn't think that that was the case here. I would think that it was more so a possibility of a situation where she feels as though maybe the relationship is fresh and she wants to make sure they get all this time in together, or maybe she believes that she has to be with him 24/7 in order for them to be good, or just, it's a lot of different possibilities. And I hope that it's not a situation where he makes her feel as though she has to be isolated. even if it's subliminally just like making complaints and stuff like that, like how you say he was talking about you to her. I hope that it's not a situation where he's segregating her from her friends, her family, and stuff like that. And I hope that if it is that situation, that she's able to see that and not be blinded by, I don't want to call it love, because I don't know. I don't know if it is love. I don't know the situation with them. So I'm not even going to touch on that. I'm just going to get off of that. So, what was I about to say? Yes, she should never let him talk about you, because if the shoe was on the other foot, 100% sure that she would not let you talk about him. Why? Because, oh, that's my man and blah, blah, blah. So she should never let him talk about you in a negative way. Now, if he's addressing some concerns that he has, okay, cool. You have to hear your partner out and respect them. But it should not be a situation where they're actively sitting up talking about you. She shouldn't be okay with that, and you shouldn't be okay with that. And as a man, he shouldn't be okay with that, because that's real feminine anyway. Why are you sitting up talking about women? Why are you doing that? So yeah, that makes absolutely no sense. She should have your back, whether you're right there or not. And she should also be mindful of how that would make her feel if the shoe was on the other foot. If you had a man and you was telling her like, girl, yeah, Rodney was saying blah, 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 blah about you and whoop, 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 and girl, like, you shouldn't be entertaining that. You get what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't entertain that type of conversation about somebody who you claim you love and respect, and that this is your best friend. So I'm sorry that you are missing her. And to be honest, it seems like she's kind of become lost in this relationship. And it's sad to say, but if it doesn't work, she will need you. That's the sad reality of it. Like, even though you've kind of gotten pushed to the wayside, she's going to need friends in the end. And that's just the harsh reality of it. So I hope that you still have not hardened your heart and are willing to allow her to turn to you if it doesn't work out. If it does work out, you guys are going to have quite the road to figuring this stuff out. Try to communicate with her, let her know how you're feeling, and see where it goes from there. Some people get caught up in having a title, and that's another harsh reality. So as much as you love her and as much as you want you guys' relationship to be good, sometimes having that title or status of being in a relationship, or the determination to make this her last relationship, or whatever the case may be, may trump her relationship with her friends. And as unfortunate as that is, it does happen. All that you can do is communicate with her, let her know how you're feeling, and never let somebody make you feel like a second choice. If you feel like it's becoming too much, step back, let her know, like, I'm not really for this. Like, I don't like how the conversation between me and you is starting to go. I don't like how you're starting to make me feel. So I'm gonna get out of Dodge. Like I said, it could not even be just her. Maybe he's convincing her that he's all that she has, or I don't know. That's such a tricky situation, because like I said, I try to be the type of person who I only speak on what I know. So at this point, I'm really advising you to do things in a different way than what I did, because what I did was I just fell back because I felt like the conversation was only about this guy, and I never was really a fan of the guy anyway, but I was trying to be a fan of the guy to support you and all types of things like that. So I'm trying to advise against that, because I do believe that if you care about somebody, they're worth fighting for. If you love somebody and you want to make it work, you put the energy into it and you put the work into making it work. So that's my advice, is to do that, not to follow the, oh, I'm not going to say nothing else, or, oh, you done made me feel away, so now I'm done talking to you. Or just hoping that they understand, because you can do things to help them understand. A lot of times people don't know that they're doing stuff that's bothering you. And I didn't really take the time to address it. So I would advise addressing it if you have not already. So to wrap it up, let CoCoa tell it. It's time for you to step back. Like I said, not necessarily run from the situation, but take you some time to calm down. Take some time to really think about what you want to say and how you want to say it. Considering that she's not really all that available, unfortunately, you may have to text it to her instead of call her, or go sit down somewhere. she'll see in the end. And if not, you're better off without her, to be honest. Like, if she doesn't notice and realize, like, hey, I miss my best friend, or this was my best friend, then maybe she doesn't deserve that title in your life. Because if this is your best friend, you're obviously holding her to a different standard and have different expectations when it comes to her versus an average friend or an associate or an acquaintance or just somebody who I hang out with here and there. So you have to definitely determine what it is that you can deal with, what it is that you can't deal with, what you will not deal with, and everything in between. So yes, overall, what I will say is, like I said, I don't want anyone to take the advice of, oh, just hitting the heels, because that could be somebody who's meant to be in your life for a lifetime. And this could just be a momentary thing. This could just be a right now thing. It could be something that could be worked out. So don't be so quick to throw in a towel on someone who is your best friend or was your best friend, or however you want to word it. Don't be so quick to do that. But you do need to address it. Have a mature, respectful conversation. Definitely try to get your point across. Try to make sure that she understands what it is that you're saying, etc., etc., etc. And I definitely wish you all the best in that situation. It is a tricky situation. Yeah, it is a tricky situation, but I do believe that because you were able to, even in your submission, address it the way that you did, I believe that you will address it with her respectfully and that you will communicate effectively. So now, once you do that, the ball is in her court. So yes. Yes, that is my advice. I really, really hope it works out. Like I say all the time, experience is the best teacher. So my experience, I'm telling you to do something completely different. Do something different. So make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share, subscribe, comment, turn on your post notifications. Yeah. And the person who's in this submission, share it with your best friend.